Hello there, it's 12 noon. Today is 13th January 2022. This is Pan-African Television News. My name is Ivy Abunadide Nakite. We are streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, and we are live across 46 African countries and some part of Europe. Now let's take a look at our headlines. President cuts sword for first of 21st century schools to improve STEM education. We'll bring you details of that shortly. Also, students of the University of Ghana, Legon, demand reduction in accommodation fees. Still to come in this afternoon's bulletin, National Road Safety Authority worried over sharp rise in road fatalities. We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for choosing to stay with us. This is Pan-African Television News. My name is Ivy Abunadide Nakite. The news in detail. President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday, January 12, 2022, cut the sword for the reconstruction of the Accra STEM Academy. This ambitious project under the 21st century schools is dedicated to the teaching and learning of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
The Accra STEM Academy, which is expected to be completed within the next 24 months, will offer education from kindergarten to high school, with an expected population of about 2,000 students. The academy, when completed, will have a number of state-of-the-art facilities, including science laboratories, a sick bay, administrative area, staff common room, library, washrooms, canteen, and a 1,500 capacity multipurpose hall. The 32 million cedis project, when completed, will equip learners from kindergarten to senior high school with 21st century skills in problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration, data literacy, digital literacy, and computer science. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of Education Yaose Educhum said the school will be very pivotal in the vision of the President to leverage on science and technology in the fourth industrial revolution.
So the first STEM Academy in Ghana is going to begin today here with the sword curtain by His Excellency the President. His vision that in the fourth industrial revolution for Africa to compete, we need to have the great minds starting from kindergarten focusing on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. He has already commissioned the construction of schools at the senior high school level. 10 schools are going to be opened this year focusing on STEM at the secondary. But he also believes that there has to be a pipeline, and that is the reason behind the Accra STEM Academy, beginning from kindergarten all the way to high school. Robotics is going to be done. Internet of Things will be here. Artificial intelligence will be here. Mr. President, we are grateful. We are grateful because you've kept your promise to this country.
On his part, President Akufo-Addo explained that government attaches importance to the teaching of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics at all levels of the nation's educational system.
Government is repositioning our educational system anchored on STEM education. Already, as part of my commitment to the advancement of STEM education in the country, government has commenced the development of 20 STEM centers and 10 model STEM senior high schools across the country, which are at various stages of completion. Some of these schools will be operationalized this year. These institutions and centers will be fitted with state-of-the-art equipment and laboratories to facilitate teaching and learning in all areas of study, including artificial intelligence and robotics. Within the next 24 months, God willing, the Accra STEM Academy will be completed from kindergarten to senior high school, with an expected student population of some 2,000 students. This academy will have a number of state-of-the-art facilities, including a 4-story classroom block, science laboratories, a sick bay, administrative area, staff common room, library, washrooms, canteen, and a 1,500 capacity multi-purpose hall. The Cross-STEM Academy, being constructed at the cost of some 32 million cedis, will equip learners from kindergarten to senior high school with 21st century skills in problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration, data literacy, digital literacy, and computer science. In addition, the Accra STEM Academy will be a place where learners in junior high school will be provided with the options of learning basic engineering, manufacturing, and global studies to help them make informed decisions on their preferred programs of choice at senior high school level.
Management of the University of Ghana has asked parents whose wards have gained admission into the institution to continue brace themselves up to pay more if they want the perennial accommodation challenges witnessed in the institution resolved. Now, this, according to the university, will lead to the establishment of more accommodation units for students. My colleague Cynthia Inkum has filed the following report.
In a media engagement, the university's head of course, Dr. Wiafia Akington, noted that the low accommodation fees charged at the university was woefully inadequate to cover accommodation expenses. He indicated that the university, for this reason, was unable to generate enough funds to start new projects on campus.
Let's take the new Vikings building, that is Sabah. I'm told that 2 in a room is 7,000 and they were oversubscribed. Sometimes you ask students to pay more, you ask parents to pay more, and it becomes like we're going on a looter. And I think that if we continue to pay this 510 per semester for traditional halls, we are not going to make much progress. So my appeal is that in as much as we all understand that our pockets are not enough, since education is important, we need to concentrate on that and be willing to pay more so that existing facilities could be not only improved and enhanced, but probably to help us to put up new ones.
However, students are not happy with the increment of the fees. According to the students, they were paying almost 1,300 Ghana cedis per semester. The adjustment to around 3,080 Ghana cedis. According to one student leader, it's unbearable.
Charlie is very critical, you know, Legon, especially. It's like almost every year there's an increment in intake of students, so this year is another one. And last 2 semesters was a modular system where they spread out the semester, you know, by reducing the number of weeks, and they try to divide us into badges, okay? So 100 and 400 and 300 and 200. So they spread out the accommodation, so that was okay. So by this new academic year, all of us are coming together, so it's a very, very critical and yeah.
Okay, so as a last semester, how much were you paying?
So diaspora was around, let's say, almost 1,300, but this semester was like 3,080 Ghana cedis. So
wait, the 1,300 is per semester?
No, that was per year, last year, per year, actually. But this new academic year is like almost triple. So
well, I think it all has to do with the it has a long history to that. We have UGEL, that is the University of Ghana Enterprise Limited. It was created mainly to create profits for the university. So the 4 diaspora halls, Nelson, Liman, Kwapon, and Elizabeth Francis Hall, were the main components for the creation of UGEL. So a loan was secured for the construction of them. And I believe there were timelines to that. I think the university were not able to meet such timeline. So it incurred judgment debt. And the investors wants their money. So it went to court, and then it went in the favor of the investors. So as of now, the prices has really increased because the investors want their money, and then the university don't also have money, so they have to right now. Students have to bear the consequences. So looking at 18-19 academic year, these halls used to pay 1,245 for the entire academic year. With the modular system, students paid 820 per semester. So if you calculate, each semester, you will get somewhere like 1,600. Yes. So with that, and looking at this academic year that we are supposed to, because it was 820 because we were going for 6 weeks. So they calculated the number of weeks we spend in school, and that led to that amount. So currently, students are paying 1,490 per semester, which in previous years it used to be for the entire academic year because of this issue, as I earlier submitted. So this whole price increment is as a result of the loan that was incurred in the construction of these buildings. And I think some traditional halls too has increased a little bit, all because of.
Now, in Ghana, road crashes contribute to the leading causes of death. Now, according to the National Road Safety Authority, although stringent measures were put in place to curb carnage, the situation seems to be getting out of hand. Now, Markiza Meshani Latifa has been finding out more.
Road crashes cost most countries about 3% of their gross domestic product. In 2021, Ghana recorded a colossal 15,972 crashes, the most of any year in the country's history. Statistics provided by the National Road Safety Authority indicates that a total of 10,381 commercial vehicles were involved in road crashes last year, with 7,295 sustaining injuries, while 997 lost their lives. A total of 11,668 private vehicles were also involved in road crashes, claiming the lives of 661 people and injuring 3,627 others. Motorbikes were not left out. 6,103 cases were recorded. 2,099 sustained various degrees of injuries, while 831 succumbed. A total number of 15,972 road crashes were recorded in 2021, with 2,924 deaths nationwide. According to the Director of Planning and Programming at the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafu-Adonting, the statistics for 2021 was unprecedented.
When we compared the situation to 2020, we saw that 2021 wasn't particularly a good year for us at all, or for National Road Safety Authority, and for that matter, the entire country. Judging from the statistics that we have currently, 2020 was an election year. So there was every justification to suggest that the figures may go up. If I compare to the previous years, election years, statistics indicate clearly. But 2021 wasn't an election year. Unfortunately, we recorded figures far in excess and above the election years that we felt was rather going to be worse. For example, if you look at the number of deaths we recorded in 2021, 2,924, and that is unprecedented. For the lifetime of the National Road Safety Authority of Ghana, we have not recorded a figure far in excess of that. level. Even the election year of 2020 recorded 2,589. So it appears that we are gradually hitting the 3,000 figures per year of the road deaths. It is unacceptable.
With a growing population of 30 million, he acknowledged that the level of interaction has grown and road crashes were anticipated. He, however, cautioned stakeholders not to relent on their efforts in ensuring that the rate of road crashes in the country are reduced.
Yeah, I think first of all, I must commend ourselves and commend everybody, and as I said, the media. The agenda to reduce road traffic crashes is an odious one. It's not an easy task. It's a very complex one. It requires that collective and shared responsibility. We cannot do it alone. But I must say that without what we were doing, or we have been doing all this while, I'm sure the situation would have been worse. So I must say that somehow we have made some achievements. Indeed, if your vehicle population is growing at the rate that we are seeing now, about between 9 to 10% annually, your human population is also growing around 3% thereabout, and currently we can count, I think, 30.8 million people. The level of interaction will grow. For example, if you hit the commercial passenger travel services, now, much as the transport operators are beginning to understand and appreciate what we do, government, in its own wisdom, has also now empowered the National Road Safety Authority. Currently, the new mandate under our new Act 993, with the legislation that is also coming into support, will put us in a position to now control, to regulate the road safety space.
He also used the opportunity to plead with the Ministry of Roads and Highways to work on dualizing our roads as a means to reduce the rate of crashes in the country.
We are advocating that the Ghana Highway Authority, Department of Urban Roads and Feeder Roads, they are in charge of the roads. The roads must grow in length and in space. I think government is making a lot of efforts to dualize our highways, and it's a step in the right direction. Indeed, if we can find the various sections of our road, especially those that are international and national in character, the Accra-Kumasi Highway all the way to the north, the Accra through Kasua, Winneba, Cape Coast to Takoradi, and this one through Aflao, from Accra Tema to Aflao, and then to Akosombo. I think these are roads that we record a lot of crashes on. I must say the notorious road sections. It is important that we begin to take steps to open them up so that the kind of crashes we record, especially those ones that have to do with head-on collisions, can be eliminated.
Now let's move to Medina. The Medina-Adentan Highway footbridges are located along the N4 highway between Medina and Adentan Highway. Now this stretch of a highway recorded a lot of fatalities in pedestrian knockdown, which triggered a civil revolt when a student of the West African Senior High School was killed on the stretch. This led to the construction of 6 footbridges along the stretch. However, some road users have resorted to jaywalking, bringing back same fears before the construction of the footbridges. Now, we'll take a look at this disturbing situation.
2018, there were a number of public demonstrations by the local residents due to a high number of accidents and deaths on Medina-Adentan Highway. However, this triggered authorities to fast completion of the footbridge. However, some residents are still not using the footbridge, but rather endangering their lives by crossing the road. We want to find out from some pedestrians why they are still crossing the road instead of using the footbridge.
Adentan Medina Highway links several communities in Accra. Constructed in 2018, it was to improve road transportation in the Adentan Medina and several neighboring communities. This, however, brought pain to most road users due to the absence of footbridge along the stretch. Several lives were lost Several calls for the construction of footbridge fell on deaf ears until a student of the West African Senior High School was crushed to death whilst crossing the road. Residents of Adentan and Medina joined forces to demonstrate demanding the completion of construction of abandoned footbridge in the area. However, checks reveal that pedestrians have resorted to crossing the roads using the median at the peril of their lives. Not even sanctions and punishments by authorities are deterring road users from engaging in jaywalking. At Medina, the same attitude was seen with pedestrian crossing from unapproved routes. Some road users at Medina gave reasons, including the absence of street lights around the footbridge, leading to increased activities of robbery on the footbridge.
To my own view, it's, at times people find it difficult to use the overhead bridge because of health condition, at times some people. And at times some people is because of selfish interest that they are after sharp way of crossing the road instead of using the recommended place. So at times, in my own view, is based on, at times some people is because of health condition, at times people have leg pain, back pain, and that. So that is why at times some people use that avenue to cross the road, and instead of using the overhead bridge like that. So that is what I can literally say. And the only thing is that to my own view, people can only follow the government protocols. And personally, is no matter how you can be able to, even if you put it another staircase, let's say a bridge 1, 2, 3 like that, people can still violate it as well. So the only thing is that it's personal discipline, what I can say, because the government is trying to protect the life of people, so that in crossing the bridge, it cannot be able to kills other people's life and property as well. So that is why using the overhead. But even though there is no way you can be able to create another way out, the only way out I can say is just using the overhead bridge. That is the only way I can be able to add up. Yeah. Seriously, I have never encountered such things like that. I did not know anything concerning that. And what I can say is concerning the footbridge, light is all over there. Because government has put a lot of security measures concerning that, light is all over the place. And at times people can use their own personal things to solve in order to use that one as an excuse that let them not use the overhead bridge in the night because of some security reason. But I can only see every day, in the night, light is all over. So that is what I can say, because I have never encountered such a situations like that, like security or kidnapping. Let's say robbing on this footbridge. I have never encountered such.
Some blame attitude of residents and road users not to use the footbridge despite threats to their own lives.
According to Nipa Bibreno, or which is a footbridge in Awadodo. Awadodo na chesene nkwano or the atubabi. And why then over cross the oil just on the cross out here and so me kind castle no me driving obe say can time our jib basanyo bi an to cross kwan we bi obe hu ana nipa no da na so ha no your friends and junkies na gu say be a show for any mbema omontegai omatra be careful into omugu na omo cross na normal people no so here say normal obe no mo so from obe hu ana ka ba obi da ho nti en sa footbridge no there say be anyansafo no who are you for there? And you are who back across.
I can't bomb.
I can't bomb.
How many times have I witnessed?
Okay, me say me who and should there be a minister back here? You must cast a bomb for.
Today, Pana would be say, bit me a dear prevent.
Okay, I dare bet me I say first now, my I just saw Munyan Fanko and could see and the hog, but be a traffic light. No, send a traffic light. Light no saw, Omutimi cross and normal. So blue so obiagina ho no otwen eno na betimi abo afisa ha nyina so obi abe cross enam fence ayiwaya nti.
Lives are still lost on the Adentan Medina highway despite the completion of the footbridge. Attempts by authorities to bring sanity along the stretch and improve safety, the situation seems on the reverse. The National Road Safety Authority, meanwhile, seems to be on a collusion course with other bodies, including the Ministry of Roads and Highways, as to who has the stamping right to improve safety on the stretch. Pan-African Television is currently monitoring this development and would keep viewers updated.
We go for a quick break. We return with more stories.
Oh, it's incredible! Bang on target!
Choosing to stay with us. You're still watching Pan-African Television News. Now, still on our local front, General Secretary of the People's Convention People's Party, Nana Jantua, has criticized government's introduction of the electronic transaction levy. According to her, implementation of what she described as a harsh and a nuisance tax will further worsen the plight of the impoverished Ghanaian.
African News, the CPP General Secretary indicated that apart from the electronic transaction levy, amounting to a double taxation mechanism, it is not the right way of mobilizing revenue for the country. Nana Jantua also warned that the implementation of the e-levy would further lead to a drastic reduction in electronic transactions, especially mobile money transactions.
Certainly, you know what our position is. When the budget came out, we brought our response to the budget. And we were very clear on the fact that we were not supporting the e-levy because it is a very harsh tax. It is a nuisance tax. A tax that is going to impoverish further the already suffering Ghanaian. Why do we say so? We say so because the money that is being taxed has been taxed already. Just as today, if you take your salary, you are taxed. And if you put this money on your Momo wallet, then they are going to tax it again. I think that if you are doing some absolute terms, if I send, and there's an experience, if I send 200 Ghana cedis a day, today, in out, in send, then I have to pay 2 cedis, then I have to pay the 1.75%. That is about almost 4 cedis. Right. Then the person taking the Momo, if I want the person to get 200 cedis flat, I have to add an extra 2 cedis for the person to take the money out. Meaning that on 200 cedis, I'm spending 6 cedis, 75 pesos. If somebody is sending 1 million Ghana cedis for a business transaction, the 200 Ghana cedis is also for a business transaction. Because most of the small scale people who are selling along the roadside, who are doing petty businesses, pay for their wares that they have taken on credit with Momo. And they are going to pay 1.75. And certainly it is not the best. Apart from it being a double taxation mechanism, it is also not feasible. It is also not the right way to mobilize funds. It is a lazy man's way of mobilizing revenue.
Touching on the reversal of discount on benchmark values, she believes industrialization is the only way to solve that problem. She added, if government was at the far front of industrialization and creation of jobs, the issue of benchmark values would have been a thing of the past.
We at the CPP believe strongly that industrialization should be done or be led by government. Right. Factories should be built by government for the people to get jobs. The private sector will just be a support. Now, for this government, is the other way around. Government can galvanize more revenue. Government can mobilize the people better than a private sector person. This government has taken $3 billion or 3 billion Ghana cedis loan, 300 billion Ghana cedis as loans. That money, no single investor can get that amount of money. Government can take loans, can take grants. So they have to lead the industrialization drive to create jobs. That is what the CPP we will do when we come to power. We have done it before and we will do it again. That we will lead industrialization in this country to ensure that the people in the country, the teeming unemployed youth, get jobs. Because government always does it better. And if government is very conscious and government wants to plan well, government does it better. Now, if government was in the forefront of industrialization, was in the forefront of creating jobs, in the forefront of building factories to manufacture, to export, then it means that all these issues wouldn't come up.
Assessing the performance of the new Patriotic Party government, the General Secretary of the CPP said government deserves an F9. She challenged government to show with records other achievements under their watch, apart from the free senior high school policy, which was haphazardly implemented. Nana Yajantua further debunked government's claims that it has created over 2 million jobs.
I was going to grade them F9. Abysmal. Apart from free senior high school, what can you say categorically that they've been able to do? The free senior high school is an enchromized CPP ideology, a CPP program, and they have not implemented it well.
Thanks for staying. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited is advising the general public to conserve and use water wisely. This comes in the wake of erratic flow of water in some parts of the country as a result of a dry season. And Stanley Mata is the head of communications at the Ghana Water Company Limited. He's joined us and he will tell us more on that. Stanley, good afternoon. Hello, Stanley, good afternoon.
Hello, yes, good afternoon.
Right, so prior to this, they have released a press statement. Ghana Water Company Limited
your line
has
is very
released a press statement, and I'll read a excerpt of the statement. It says, the dry season is here again, and it associates repercussions. As a result, consumers are experiencing a erratic flow of water in some parts of the country, especially the Greater Accra, the Ashanti, Central, Western, and the Northern regions. Now, the management of the Ghana Water Company Limited wishes to assure the consuming public that it is on top of the situation and everything possible is being done to ameliorate the situation. Management wishes to bring to the attention of all to be part of the solution. Hence, consumers are advised to strictly adhere to the following conservation measures. One says, cease indiscriminate watering of lawns with treated water. Moderate the use of treated water for car washing by resorting to the use of buckets instead of hosing. Shut all taps when not in use, and repair all leakages in your homes, like overflowing reservoirs and dripping taps, valves, etc. The little drops also swell your water bills. And it continues by saying, report all burst pipes and leakages immediately to the nearest Ghana Water Company Limited district offices, consumer service centers, and fault offices. You can also send Google GSP location and pictures and videos of the burst on the Ghana Water Company Limited. Okay, so Stanley has joined us once again. Stanley, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, Stanley.
Yes, good afternoon. Your line is very faint. I can't really hear you.
We try as much as possible to get in touch with Stanley. Meanwhile, let me continue. Let me wrap up with the press statement. It says the general public, you can also send Google GSP location, pictures and videos of the best. Stanley.
Hello.
Stanley, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Your line is very faint.
Can you kindly position yourself? Or can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's very faint. So we can go ahead. If you can hear me, we can go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you. I hope it's clearer now. All right, Stanley, we understand that due to the Harmattan, some consumers are experiencing erratic flow of water. Now, tell us how bad the situation is.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, because of the dry season, we are experiencing very low levels in the river bodies that we extract water for production.
Okay.
Okay, and this situation has also been compounded by the activities of illegal miners, those we call galamsey. So then levels are very low. We are unable to extract enough for treatment, and then the little too is being polluted by these activities. So that's how the challenge is. So we only abstract little, and even the little that we abstract, because it's highly turbid, it's all filled with sand and stone particles. So we lose even about 40% of the little that we are able to abstract. So then the small volumes of water left, okay, we've had to use a lot of chemicals to treat it, and then that is also to make it worse. It is not even enough to meet the demand of the population. So that is the situation as it is now in most parts of the country. So we are only urging everybody to observe some water conservation measures because the water is not enough. And then we also expect that we will all play a role in the fight against illegal mining activities.
Okay,
back to you.
Okay, before I let you go, what's the way forward for the affected consumers?
Hello?
Yes, what's the way forward for the affected consumers?
Yes, with the way forward, the GWCL is doing a lot, but we think that we all have a role to play. Every citizen of Ghana has a role to play. So GWCL and government are doing everything possible to dredge most of our river bodies so that at least we can store more water in our reservoirs. And then we also expect that we all get involved in the fight against illegal mining, especially alluvial mining in our river bodies, so that at least even if we have low levels, we should have good raw water quality so that we can abstract enough for treatment to meet the demand of the population. So that is what we expect from everybody, and we also expect that we all will pay the little bills that you owe the Ghana Water Company Limited, so we can have some money to invest back into the system in serving our customers better.
All right, Stanley, are you going to supply water to the affected areas?
Now the situation is such that there's still some water in the system, so the only thing is that we are doing demand management, and so we are doing our best to distribute the little water in the system equitably for everybody to get. So if you are able to store enough whilst it is flowing, you should be able to survive it when water is not flowing.
All right.
But for essential service providers, we may have to serve them with, let's say, tankers when they actually need it. Okay, so these are some of the measures that we put in place, but we are hopeful that there will be early rains so that at least this situation will improve and then we can move on as a country.
Stanley, before I let you go, from your own point of view, how long is this going to last? Hello?
Hello?
How long is this going to last, Stanley?
Because we depend on natural resources like our river bodies, which are filled by rains, natural rains, we wouldn't be able to say, because that is the only situation where we can have high levels in our river bodies to improve on the raw water quality as well. Okay, so we can't really tell, but we are just hopeful that there will be early rains so that this could end. But we can't say that it's going to end today or tomorrow or the day after.
Thank you, Stanley, for your time. We do appreciate. Well, we have been in conversation with Stanley Mate. He's the head of communications at the Ghana Water Company Limited. Due to the Harmattan, some consumers are experiencing erratic flow of water. Stanley has been telling us more on that. Now, away from that, traders at the Medina market have expressed worry about the slow pace of businesses' activities at the market. According to the traders, the increase in wholesale prices at the beginning of the year has affected. Now, before this footage, let's go for a quick breather. We'll be right back.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCAP, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242 135523. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority.
In business, traders at Medina Market have expressed worry about the slow pace of businesses' activities at the market. Now, according to the traders, the increase in wholesale prices at the beginning of the year has affected sales.
Medina Market is one of the busiest commercial hubs in the capital. Its location, which is close to the Adentan Highway, makes it a conducive location for traders from several communities, including Adentan. However, traders at the market are not happy. They complain that prices of goods have shot up due to increment in wholesale prices, forcing them to add on the prices increment to customers. According to the traders, prices shot up marginally from the beginning of the year. Some traders at the market said they have no option than to increase their prices to make ends meet.
Na medeba na mom ne bo no na de mai na cars kano so kwasuru pa mai last year de na ye na afi de de nkakra mai fe ne na ekuyan kase na ntia de ba nti omo se ya ade ne bo na de ma omo nti ka fe ne de ekuyan pa
na first na ke ton 2025 say about 30 35 40 nti nkofo so mo fi baby beto no so mo ba mo se ne boa ye den so ti ase sika ni ho iti asa bi school yesu fi ekran nkola mo school ama challenges aye bibiri amaye so wo ade to na enko kora o enti bi afese yete wosa hwe gutu fe ma hihye fe bibiri na wo ma chi fita no pa ye nto obi aba na obo price pe away.
For tomatoes traders, they have no option than to reduce their prices to meet customers' demand to avoid damage to their items.
Eko kofa obukina nti ye ko ho last ye ko ye but yesi omunti sumaye na so omunpese omunti so nti bona ye di oni akwafo no ya tina hu omunpese omunti so nti baby aye kofa no bukina no ni bo ye din wo ho nti ani ne hu expenses no edoso ne lorry fare kura no na ekuye mi ye di ba ha ye ntumi ntowo time price na say ye gi no ye ntumi ngi say wo di ba ha e be say nti ye tisu wa ha nti ye na ye boka e wo Ghana. Oh, last year na nya kura e bi ya 20 million 80 million ye tokura po a unya osika say de nyame adom obo ne ba fom o ngofo didwa edwa do mudi nenso mu pade a ne bo no e wo fom don hwe na omo kokwa no so bu no e bo no mra fom no se na be ye omo so ba na ye ka bo no meto amaye o se omo na 10 million 9 million se sanka ba 5 million a wo ba konko no
e betimi ahwie ne beye 20 cities half 10 cities nipa no so de ankoka beto na so bo 36 35 ne boya ne den enti anka bo ne kofo kakra ma omo a omo so ba omo so betimi ato ne tentem amaye.
Some traders have maintained fixed prices to make ends meet.
Two beans in last year, never this year, very expensive. Marketing there was slow, especially this year. This January marketing is very slow. Baby, I have fafi no so why expensive. And at Christmas time no so ananka you feel so better at the amayeno. Na marketing up to this time. And the price no so sura na echo emba from that. It's all the same. Last year, yeah, the price all the same. Yeah, bimu no mo kofa ba Accra. Na yesu ya kutu efi omo ha beton.
From the Medina market, Iravna Frimpons reports for Pan African News.
That's all for business. Up next is international news. On an international front, Palestinians in Negev Desert have organized vigils and protests to oppose the ongoing Israeli distractions of their lands in Bedouin villages of Al-Atraj and Al-Sawa. Now, since the beginning of the week, the villagers have been facing repeated attempts of encroachment by extremist Israeli settlers and right-wing Israeli organizations on their lands.
Israeli groups have been forcibly planting trees on the land with the aim of ultimately confiscating and taking complete control of all the Palestinian Bedouin land in the area. The extremists and settlers are being assisted and protected by the Israeli forces, who accompanied them with bulldozers to carry out demolitions of Bedouin tents and destroy large swaths of land that the Bedouins have historically used for cultivation. The Israeli forces have also unleashed brutal violence on the protesting villagers, attacking them with rubber-coated metal bullets, stun grenades, and sound bombs, as well as physically assaulting many of them to break up the protests. According to very new reports, close to 30 protesters have also been arrested since Monday. This includes several under the age of 18, 3 women, as well as Palestinian journalist Yasser Akabi, who was covering the Israeli destruction of the village and the violence being inflicted on the villagers. Israeli forces reportedly also demolished a residential tent in the nearby Al-Ruwais village on Monday, rendering the inhabitants homeless. They've closed off entry to many of the villages in the area and are preventing even the Palestinian Bedouins from accessing their own lands. As a result, the villagers have moved their sitting protests and vigils to the entry points of their respective villages. Following the news of the demolitions and violence, the local Palestinian organization in the area, the Higher Follow-Up Committee of Arabs in the Negev, announced plans for a large demonstration on Thursday, January 13, while also announcing the observation of a general strike in the villages of Al-Atrash, Al-Sawa, Al-Zarnouk, Al-Ruwaish, Beir Hadach, and Kirbet Watan. In a statement elaborating on its announcement, the committee said that we took the decision to undertake proactive measures, beginning with adopting a cumulative resistance program over a period of 6 months that will lead to a regional general strike in a massive demonstration outside the Prime Minister's office, and the internationalization of the issue to expose the racist practices of Israeli authorities before international institutions. The 2 Bedouin villages currently under attack and facing the threat of destruction are among 35 similar Palestinian Bedouin villages which are not officially recognized by the State of Israel. Similar demolition operations were also carried out in the villages of Al-Mashash, Al-Zarnouk, Bir El-Hammam, Al-Ruwaish, Al-Gara, and Kirbet Watan last month, during which Israeli forces destroyed crops and agricultural lands. The non-recognition of these villages by the Israeli government means that they are constantly at risk of demolition and confiscation. This also bars them from receiving any aid or assistance from the Israeli government in terms of infrastructure, electricity, water supply, roads, schools, and healthcare. This systematic exclusion and abandonment. This systematic exclusion and abandonment has left the Bedouin Palestinians in these villages, most of which existed before the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, completely neglected. The Israeli government works alongside Israeli right-wing and settler organizations to advance its historic Make the Desert Bloom campaign, which seeks to plant thousands of trees to replace the desert and the Palestinian communities that live there. The Jewish National Fund, founded by one of the earliest Zionists, Theodor Herzl, is one of the primary partners in this campaign, which has prompted tree planting in the desert as a way for Jews globally to support Israel. However, this large-scale eviction and ethnic cleansing campaign has been consistently met with mass resistance and protest. Despite constant evacuation and demolition orders from Israeli authorities, the residents of the Palestinian Bedouin villages remain unrebuilt. One emblematic case is the village of Al-Arakib, which has been demolished by Israeli forces an astounding 196 times. Village residents have rebuilt and re-erected their tents and homes and recultivated their agricultural crops, essential for their livelihood each and every time.
Credit goes to our international partners, the People's Dispatch for our international story. Up next is sports. Do stay. In sports, Mali defeated Tunisia by a 0-0 at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in the Group F game, which ended in controversies after the referee gave 2 penalties and blew for full time prematurely. And let's take a look at the highlights of the matches that took place yesterday.
Carthage Eagles coach Monda Kebaya and his technical staff raced onto the field to confront referee Gianni Sikazwe after he ended the game a minute early. After Mali manager Mohamed Magasuba's post-match press conference had started, tournament organizers ordered the game to be played to a conclusion. However, in more farcical scenes, Tunisia's players did not return to the field and Mali was declared winners. Gambia, on the other hand, won their first ever game at the Africa Cup of Nations against Mauritania, thanks to an early goal from Adli Jallo, which put them joint top of Group F after the first group stage match day. It was an excellent start from the Scorpions as Jallo fired a brilliant strike from distance into the net to put his side ahead with just 10 minutes on the clock. The tournament debutants then defended resolutely for the remainder of the first half, preventing Mauritania from getting any clear sights of goal, and they went in ahead at the break. Ivory Coast captain Max Gradel scored a spectacular goal as the Elephants beat Equatorial Guinea in their Group E Africa Cup of Nations opener.
Show business is next. The Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, will hold national and regional elections on February 23, 2022 to choose officers to serve for a 4-year term. Now, our entertainment desk profiles the 3 candidates aspiring to succeed from former President Vice Osei Kufuor, who left office in 2019.
Union of Ghana, an umbrella group for all musicians and music group professionals, incorporated in December 9, 1975, with registration number 8460, has regional offices in all 10 regions of the country. On February 23, 2022, 3 self-motivated, action-driven, result-oriented individuals will vow for presidency of the organization after years of litigation and personal wrangling. They are acting president Henry Bisa Simons, Deborah Freeman, Ras Caleb Apia Levy. Henry Bisa Simon was born into a family of musicians. He attended Agri Memorial Senior High School and led the Pelicans Band of Cape Coast to win the prize at the Big Band competition held in Accra by the Arts Council of Ghana in the early 70s. A graduate of the National Academy of Music in Winneba, University of Education. He also has a diploma from the School of Audio Engineering in London. A prolific songwriter, keyboardist, singer, he also worked with Osibisa, Ebo Taylor, Patomas, Papa Youngson, C.K. Mann, Jeduble Ambule, and the Evergreen Tego Sisters. A board member of the VGMAs and Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO. The veteran musician has 5 albums to his credit with a catalogue of hit songs such as Sinana, Awoye, and Belembe. He led the Bisa Band in addition to teaching and monitoring young musicians. Ras Kalibapia is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of Musica and an ambassador for Ghana Hearts Foundation. He is the General Manager for Red House Record Ghana and board member of the Model Union of Ghana, MODUGA. Deborah Freeman, who serves as the current General Secretary, attended Nasarawa State University, Zenith University College, and Gulfa Institute of Theology. She is also General Secretary of the Council of Informal Workers Association of the Trade Union Congress.
Well, that's how we wrap up on today's episode of Pan-African Television News, live here on Pan-African Television. My name, Ivy Abnadidi Nakita. Before we go, a recap of our headlines. President cuts salt for first of 21st century schools to improve STEM education. Students of the University of Ghana demand reduction in accommodation fees. National Road Safety Authority worried over sharp rise in road fatalities. We brought you details of these stories and many more live from our studios here, 48 Swanika Street, Abelempe, Accra, Ghana. Follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.
Hello? Okay, wait a minute. Why? My wife comes and send a message. Your face is going to move. Hello? I didn't know. What's happened?
It's a chance.